Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa has spoken with South African-born billionaire and special U.S. government employee Elon Musk. It comes after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to cut funding to South Africa, claiming that land was being confiscated. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi reports.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa believes diplomatic engagements will help U.S. President Donald Trump understand South Africa's recently signed land reform policy. And while Trump has promised to cut off funding until a full investigation has been concluded, South Africa's ambassador to the U.S. says this is the window to change the false narrative.
I think that having seen the thinness of the allegations against us, I think South Africa should be feeling that we must now get into the game. We must get to those who are agitating the president. We must get to this investigation because we think we have a rational, reasonable case to put on the table. I think we have already begun to call for a teleconference between Secretary Marco Rubio and Minister Lamola so that we can start the process of engaging now that we know what the terms of engagement are, what the focus is.
There's been fierce criticism against AfriForum's alleged involvement in what led to the stance taken by the US. This has seen calls for action to be taken against the lobby group.
I think that what our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, has said, that we are a country with a rule of law, and so we won't be clamping down on an AfriForum. I think they are endangering our economy. They are endangering vulnerable people who rely on aid like the PEPFAR funds, the USAID money, etc., etc. So I think they should examine their consciences. It is our job as the mission in South Africa and as the government of South Africa, and particularly the government of national unity. And so I was very heartened that it was not a section of the government of national unity that repudiated what President Trump was saying. It was the whole of the government of national unity that did so.
Parties within the government of national unity have supported efforts to engage the Trump administration about South Africa's Land Expropriation Act. But some believe Trump does not care about facts.
What South Africans and the South African government need to understand is that Donald Trump is the first president in the world who is exactly like the person we experience on Twitter. Doesn't care about facts, doesn't care about information. The cruelty and the rudeness is the point and end goal of what he's doing. We really have to internalize it. There is not very much that we can do in order to convince Donald Trump to change, to become a person who appreciates facts, who appreciates nuance, especially historical nuance in our case. And that means we must temper our diplomatic expectations with the reality that we will still get certain consequences anyway, because he does not care.
While aid by the US government of about 17% was suspended for South Africa's HIV programs prior to these remarks by Trump, the South African government believes the engagement will help in fostering good relations, which will also help trade between the two countries. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Mnisi in Johannesburg.